Good morning, everyone. Milton is a monster, downgraded an hour ago to a Category 4, but this is a serious and deadly storm that will have the target of the west coast of Florida in its sights sometime later tonight and into the early morning hours. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bill Hemmer, live today from Orlando as we do a split show today here on America's Newsroom. Dana, good morning.
Well, you are missed, but we are glad you are there. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. You've covered many of these hurricanes, Bill, and I think that even you are saying, wow, this one is big and a monster by comparison even.
You know, Dan, I think it's storm number 21. I think I lost count. I'm back at a hotel where I was 5 years ago. Same hotel, same state. And Florida's going to take a wallop here. They were predicting earlier today that there's going to be a part of the west coast of Florida that will have a storm surge of 8 to 10 feet. You think about that now. Those low-lying barrier islands that have been so built up over the past 50 years now, and the population increase on the west coast of Florida, this is going to be a doozy. Experts describe Milton as a once-in-a-century storm, and folks in Tampa are taking heed.
Very tough. We recently just got through Helene in St. Petersburg, and we're very scared about what's going to happen with our home.
I've been there 8 or 9 years, and we just went through it 2 or 3 times, and I'm just getting too old to stay there. So we just bailed out.
I just think this time we're really going to get hit. It's scary. It's really scary. It's not scary right now. It's scary thinking about what we're going to find when we go back.
Yeah, we're in Orlando. You drive 100 miles to the west, you'll hit the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to feel hurricane force winds at this time tomorrow. Britta, Merwin's going to get it earlier. She's live in Sarasota, Florida, on the coast there. And Britta, what do you have? Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. There was a southward jog with Hurricane Milton yesterday. That changes the scenario for Sarasota. There's a possibility that this could be landfall site. And behind me, you see a massive boat. We're at the marina. The tough thing is, Bill, this boat is not technically parked at the marina. It's on a little piece of land between the bay and the marina, and this is where the boat came from. This is the bay that takes you over to Lido Key. Lido Key is the barrier island 4 miles from downtown Sarasota. And during Hurricane Helene, that boat was lifted from the bay all the way up to the land. And now we have a bigger, more monstrous storm, Hurricane Milton. Yes, it might be a Category 4 by 2 miles per hour. And although we're going to see weakening, the weakening only helps us out with the wind speeds. This was a Category 5 hurricane. Energy does not disappear. All of that energy is locked up in this water. And even with the winds weakening, that storm surge will be indicative of a Category 5 hurricane because the history of this hurricane. That energy is still locked up, and the power of the water will respond to that. Everything in this bay will be pushing forward. During Hurricane Helene, massive damage in Lido Key. That's the bridge over to the barrier island. Downtown Sarasota did not see the storm surge. Yes, we saw some of the boats move here in the marina, but we did not have surge downtown. That is going to change. And unfortunately, everybody that used to call Lido Key home, who is now sheltering because Helene has blown through and destroyed their homes, they're up in these high rises in Sarasota, and they're going to be surrounded by the water. Here in Florida, it's know your zone, know your home. The fortified, built-up condos in downtown Sarasota, they will be able to keep people safe from the wind. They will be able to keep people out of the water. But the folks that are staying there are going to be stuck there without power. National Weather Service sharing this morning that they might be out without power for more than a week.
Wow. So, Britta, the Gulf of Mexico is very different on the west coast of Florida than the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast. The Atlantic drops off several miles, and a lot of these storms hit that, and they curve to the north. The Gulf of Mexico is different. It is very shallow for a long period of time, which means that storm surge is just going to carry itself one on top of the other, and that's really where the danger comes. And when you think north of you in Tampa,
Absolutely.
They have not had a direct hit in 103 years, Britta.
And even if we have landfall here in Sarasota, Tampa Bay doesn't get an easy hand. This is going to reface everything. Because to your point, this is the strongest storm that we have seen in over 100 years. So no one has seen what it looks like to throw 10 feet of storm surge into this part of the Gulf Coast. And to your point, the coastal shelf, which is the feature that you're talking about for the Gulf side of Florida, you have a deep Gulf of Mexico, and then for hundreds of miles, you have a coastal shelf. All of that deep water piling on top of that shelf shoves right into the coastline. It is one of the most vulnerable coastlines for storm surge.
Britta, thanks. Britta Merwin, Sarasota, will be with you throughout the day. Dana.
Well, Fox Weather senior meteorologist Janice Dean is tracking Milton. She joins us now. Good morning, Janice.
That was a really good description of the storm surge, right? It's like a ramp that will pile this water inland to very vulnerable areas, really from Tampa to Fort Myers. We're looking at a Category 4 storm, 125 miles from the center of circulation. This is about 250 miles wide. As it weakens, it's going to expand its winds. So the storm is going to get larger, and the time has run out for this storm to really weaken and make an impact. We are expecting a very strong hurricane, a catastrophic landfall, and probably damage all up and down the west coast of Florida. So here is the timeline, and here is how wide the storm is going to get. So affecting the whole west coast of Florida, the east coast of Florida, really anywhere in between. But the vulnerable area is going to be here, from Tampa all the way down to Fort Myers, up to 15 feet. So south of Bradenton right now. Tampa, you're now up to 12 feet. That is still a record for you. You actually set a record storm surge with Helene 2 weeks ago. And then now, as we go further southward, Anna Maria, Longboat Key, Sarasota, Venice, Inglewood, Boca Grande, we're looking at upwards of 15 feet. That will destroy this area. And that's why people have been urged to evacuate, because the water is going to be on top of your homes. You cannot escape it. High tide, we didn't talk about that. The storm surge is going to come, in some cases, on top of high tide. You pile in the storm surge and the waves on top of that. Not survivable, and that's why this is such a dire situation, Dana. So I don't want you to focus on that's just the winds, and winds certainly are going to impact the coast and inland. Heavy rain as well, upwards of a foot north of the center of circulation, but it's the storm surge that's really going to cause the worst damage and the life-threatening water along these vulnerable coastlines.
Janice, I'm reminded of Hurricane Sandy. That was also hitting at high tide.
A very good example of that, right? And that wasn't even technically a hurricane. We call it a superstorm. It was 1,000 miles wide because it was weakening and interacting with a cold front, which is actually kind of what this is doing. It's interacting with a trough. It's going to start to transition into an extratropical storm. And all that does is it expands the wind field. And it was the storm surge that caused so much destruction in Sandy here in the Northeast.
Janice Dean, thank you. We'll see you again soon.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.